Hey there, welcome in or welcome back. My name is Avril, and in this corner of the internet, we chat about writing, life, and whatever else comes to mind. Today's video is one of those quick little update roundup videos. I have a few things that I need to touch base about in terms of the blog, my channel, my writing in general, and life in general. For anyone who may not already know, I work at an escape room, and summer is our busiest time of the year by far. I happen to work in a pretty touristy area of the state, no matter what time of the year it is, but especially during the summer where you have kids out of school, people are going on summer vacations, you've got all these things to do in the area, including the escape room. So we get a lot of foot traffic coming in. So, like a lot of other attractions in the area, that means the escape room will be opening up for extended hours. And that means all hands on deck for us game masters. And don't get me wrong, that is fantastic for business. And being fantastic for business means that we can stay open and I get to continue doing a job that I really, really love. However, those extended hours do also impact my writing, which I also love. 2026 is my third year with the company, so I have a pretty good understanding of what extended hours are going to look like and how that impacts everything. But there is one caveat with that because this is the first year that I've been supervisor. I will say my schedule has been pretty consistent ever since the promotion was finalized, but again, I don't know what that'll look like when we get into the summer. So, in order to account for the hectic nature of the season and keep myself from burning out in the process, I'm doing what I've done for the past couple of years, and I will be taking a partial hiatus from the blog. This actually predates working at the escape room. I was doing this back when I worked at the big orange hardware store. It allows me to balance writing and my job without getting burned out and mentally exhausted. That way, when everything does settle down again, I can just slide right back into the groove. Now, when I say a partial hiatus from the blog, I just mean that I'm shifting to posting only on alternating weeks. I actually do plan pretty far ahead, so aside from the one post that I have to finish up today, pretty much all of my posts for June and July are already done. Basically, the partial hiatus just means that I'll be uploading a new blog post only on alternating weeks. Technically, I did already begin that hiatus because I didn't have a new blog post up last Sunday, but there will be a new one coming out this Sunday. And from there, it's just going to be every other week. So I'll be doing that through the rest of June, all through July, and potentially the end of August or the midpoint of August, depending on how everything shakes out. But definitely by September, we will be back to the normal weekly upload schedule. Hitting the pause button on the blog doesn't mean that I am dropping it completely. In the event something were to come up and there was a blog post that I felt I had to write right away, I would absolutely be willing to do that and get it out. No problem there. This is really more about being able to prioritize my fiction because time is limited and I have things that I need to get done. And speaking of that, I guess we can shift over to fiction and talk about my writing plans there. So in a recent video, I broke down my status with A Tided Love, which is my Regency project that I'm currently working on, and how I'm feeling kind of stuck with that, and how that led me to begin working on what I've been calling my For Funsies project, where I'm just writing to write and having fun with it. For now, I think I will be focusing more on Project Scrimmage, which is that For Funsies project. I kind of wore my Bengal shirt for the occasion because it's a football romance. And as much as I want to be dividing my time between A Tided Love and Project Scrimmage, which is that For Funsies project, I think what I'm going to end up doing is focusing more on Project Scrimmage and just having fun with it and not trying to balance the two projects right now, which is pretty ironic considering that A Tided Love takes place during the summer and Project Scrimmage takes place during the football season, so figure like fall. The thing about A Tided Love, at least right now, is that it feels heavy and something that I need to be working on for a longer period of time. Whereas Project Scrimmage is just kind of fun and lighthearted and something that I feel can be worked on in smaller bits. And knowing that my writing time is going to be a little more limited come the summer, I think that I need to push A Tided Love back a little bit and give myself that breathing room. Hopefully that makes sense. But like I said with the blog and not completely stepping away from it, if I do feel inclined to be working on A Tided Love that day, I will. The purpose of the hiatus is really to make sure that I'm not going to be burning myself out or putting myself under undue stress because I'm trying to get all these things done at once. And I'm not saying that I can't work on something. I'm just saying that if I'm not up to working on it in that moment, that's fine. And with that, I do also want to mention my newsletter. I have been slacking when it comes to the newsletter. I did not mean for that to happen. And if you were expecting a newsletter from me this past month, I am so, so sorry about that. It unfortunately was that thing that fell to the wayside when everything was starting to get chaotic unexpectedly. So, at least for the summer and maybe going forward, I might just keep that newsletter with the blog and everything to a bi monthly basis and only have it go out every other month. So, I don't know if that'll start at the end of this month or next month. I haven't quite figured all that out yet, but that is another change that will be coming. And of course, there is one more piece to this hiatus Jenga, if you want to call it that, and that is this channel here. This is my first year doing YouTube, and I don't quite know how that'll be impacted by the summer. But as far as I can tell right now, I do want to keep it to the weekly upload schedule. But don't be surprised if my videos are on the shorter side throughout the summer, or it does end up becoming an alternating week thing like the blog. In which case, what I'll probably end up doing is having the blog one week, then YouTube the next, and kind of having one or the other as opposed to both, and then nothing, and then both. There is one long form video that I want to be working on, but I A have to have the time to really sit down and make it, and B also I have to figure out copyright stuff with that because I'm terrified of that. There's also, I think, a little bit of research that needs to go into it as well, which will take a little bit of time. But for the most part, videos may be a little bit shorter and not as quote unquote serious, I guess. I do plan on a few writing check ins here and there to keep myself accountable and to keep you guys in the loop. Maybe the occasional book review or vlog or write with me session. We'll just kind of play that one by ear. But with that being said, if there are any writing videos that you do want to see on the channel or even on the blog, feel free to let me know in the comments. But I think that covers pretty much everything that I wanted to go over in this video as far as updates go and changes and everything to look forward to during the summer. So I will leave it there for now. And if you did make it this far, please feel free to tell me all about your writing goals and plans for the summer down in the comments below. And in that description box, I'll have my website, my socials, and all those other tidbit things that we're supposed to leave. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.